What if I told you that before every Tom, Dick and Harry had heard about ChatGPT, before the rise of artificial intelligence started being talked about at length by the mainstream media, that there was an album made recently by a well-known British band from Manchester that was written almost entirely by AI? Don't believe me? Well, you're about to have your mind blown. Now, this may surprise you, but AI has actually been slowly transforming the music industry for a while now. Not just in the way that music is consumed, with algorithms now telling you what you should be listening to, before you've even had a chance to think about what you might want to listen to, but in the way that music is actually made. Say you wanted to create an initial chord progression or song idea. AI algorithms can now analyze vast amounts of historical music data from your favorite artists, and literally write you a new composition based on the characteristics of that data. Examples of these types of tools include Amper Music and Soundful. Whereas in the mixing and mastering process of music making, AI-powered tools can now analyze the frequencies of a final mix and automate the mastering process by making hundreds of fine adjustments within seconds. Adjustments that would take a mastering engineer hours to do. Tools like Lander and eMastered make mastering a breeze and very cheap. I even use these services to master my own songs. But what about the songwriting process? If I think about all of the different aspects of music making that AI could be used for, this is far the most difficult. Is it actually possible for an AI to write a song that sounds human? A song that has the emotional depth and artistic vision that is unique to human expression? Turns out, an indie rock band from Manchester, about to pen their 6th studio album, had the same question. And that band is Everything Everything. Everything Everything are a British indie rock band from Manchester that formed back in 2007. The band consists of lead vocalist and songwriter Jonathan Higgs, bassist Jeremy Pritchard, drummer Michael Spearman, and guitarist Alex Robertshaw. The band rose to fame with the release of their debut album Man Alive back in 2010. The album received critical acclaim and was nominated for the Mercury Prize. To date, Everything Everything have actually been shortlisted twice for the Mercury Prize and have received 5 nominations for the Ivor Novello Award. Link up here to my video on why the Mercury Prize is so important for music, if you fancy a watch after this video. Since their debut, the band's subsequent 5 albums would all chart in the UK top 10, including their latest album, Raw Data Feel. Interesting name, right? I wonder why they called it that. Aside from the band gaining a reputation for their complex and unconventional rhythms, unmistakable falsetto vocals, and unique math rock sound, perhaps the most overlooked aspect of the band's releases is their lyrical content. Frontman and songwriter Jonathan Higgs' lyrics have always had a touch of the dystopian to them. If his albums were a TV show, they'd be Black Mirror. Jonathan's tackled an array of topics across the band's 6 albums, from the effect of technology in society with songs like Photoshop Handsome, to the negative impact of human activity on our planet like No Reptiles, and even weighing in on political and current affairs with songs like Ivory Tower. Having established themselves today as one of the most innovative and critically acclaimed indie rock bands of the 2010s and the 2020s, there was only one logical next step for the band: get an algorithm to write your next album. Wait, really? So, for anybody that doesn't know, OpenAI are an artificial intelligence research organisation. They've been developing GPT language models since 2019. What is GPT, I hear you ask? GPT is Generative Pre-trained Transformer Technology. Okay, so what does this mean in words that we can actually understand? These are language models that use artificial intelligence to understand and generate human-like text. The technology learns from vast amounts of data on the internet to identify language patterns, which enables it to generate coherent and contextually relevant responses when given prompts. Higgs was curious about this technology, and in an interview with The Guardian, Higgs states that he took to social media to find people working in this field and asked them to get in touch with him. A response shortly arrived from a man called Mark Hanslip, a musician and researcher at the University of York's Contemporary Music Research Centre. Higgs then endeavoured to collaborate with him, asking him, "If I send you some data, can you feed it into your machine?" Higgs decided that he would use this GPT technology as a creative writing partner, typing in fragments of text and ideas into the prompt bar, and asking it to come up with lyric suggestions, and even ask it to fill in missing text by asking it to complete verses with missing lines, using the generated output as a foundation for the song's lyrics. In the interview, Higgs goes on to say that he sent Handslip an array of raw data to train the AI on. He sent over LinkedIn's terms and conditions, posts from 4chan, works by other poets and writers, and even his own previous lyrics. Now, it's worth noting that Higgs didn't create the entire album using AI, but rather he used GPT technology as a source for inspiration, as a starting point for his songwriting. Higgs found that it was particularly good at coming up with interesting and unpredictable phrases that he might not have thought of on his own. Lines like, "I'm a ghost in the machine," "a cog in the scheme," and "I'm never quite what I seem." Higgs generated hundreds of pages of lyrics, most of which, in his own words, were reams and reams of nonsense. He then sifted through them to select the best ideas for him to work on, shaping the lyrics generated by the system to fit the song's overarching narrative. He began building the songs, layering on melodies, chords, and instrumentation, until he had a fully formed song. Of course, not all of the lyrics on raw data field were generated entirely by AI. Higgs still wrote plenty of his own lyrics, and collaborated with other songwriters on the album. In fact, Higgs estimates that only 5% of the final lyrics were penned directly by the AI, but the use of AI allowed him to explore new ideas and take risks in his songwriting that he may not have done otherwise. In the interview, Higgs says that it's like having an incredibly knowledgeable and imaginative collaborator who doesn't have a physical body, but can contribute something different and interesting to the process. So what was the end result like? Well, for me, the album sounds both familiar and new. The songs still have Everything's trademark sound, with their complex rhythm sections and falsetto vocals, not to mention the genre-bending guitar sounds. But the album definitely feels fresh to me, and I would largely put that down to the lyrics and lyrical theme on this album, exploring themes like technology, identity, and the ever-changing nature of our reality, using AI itself to inform the narrative. It certainly looks to me as though it's taking the lyrics, and hence the songs themselves, in a different direction to where they may have ended up if Jonathan was just sitting down as normal with a pen and paper and a guitar in hand to write the next album. One of the standout tracks on the album is Super Normal, which features lyrics that were entirely penned by AI. Very fitting song title in that case. Pretty sure that song title is supposed to be ironic because there is absolutely nothing super normal about that. The song opens with the lines, "I'm an AI construct, not a real boy, no, but a voice in the noise, and I'm feeling super normal." When you think about it, it's actually a fascinating exploration of what it means to be human, in a world where technology is becoming ever more integrated and relied upon in our lives. Another standout track for me is Lord of the Algorithm. The lyrics touch on themes of power and control, with lines like, "You're the lord of the algorithm, the ruler of the code, you can make the world do what you want it to." It's a powerful anthem for anybody that's felt like they're at the mercy of technology, I guess. Definitely something I feel more and more of us are feeling, especially with these recent GPT advancements. So naturally, the use of AI in music production, and in general creative human expression really, is going to attract some criticism, especially from the purists and the technophobes out there, that to this day would still rather record the tape than go within touching distance of Pro Tools. Joking, obviously, but what is true is that Higgs's collaboration, if we can call it that, with GPT does blur the lines a little bit between what is considered authentic and what isn't, and it raises some genuinely intriguing questions about the potential for technology to enhance and transform traditional artistic processes. Some people would argue that it can actually enhance human creativity by providing new tools and insights which can inspire and inform the artistic process. Given the success of Raw Data Feel, I would say that Jonathan Higgs is one of those people. For me, Raw Data Feel is a testament to the power of AI as a creative tool, if it's used correctly. In this particular instance, GPT was not a replacement for human creativity, but rather a complement to it, and I think the result speaks for itself. However, whilst GPT does offer new avenues for creative expression, there are credible concerns against its use in songwriting. Some argue that it could take the humanity out of the creative process, reducing music to a series of algorithms and equations. Others worry about the lack of authenticity and the loss of human connection through truly emotive songwriting. But perhaps the biggest risk of them all is the homogenization of music. The idea that music made by AI could all eventually end up sounding the same, because AI fundamentally relies upon patterns and trends from existing popular music, which could potentially limit the diversity and creativity that would naturally emerge from human-driven experimentation. I would argue that it's already happening. So whatever you may think about the use of AI in music making, in my opinion, it's not really the technology that we should fear, it's how we use it. Overall, I do think that the rise of AI in music production is a really exciting development that is transforming the music industry in many, many different ways, for good and for worse. As this technology evolves and adoption increases, I think it will be fascinating to see how it shapes the future of music. Although at this point, it's kind of hard to tell whether the future will be bright or dark. However, I do think that Jonathan Higgs has proved here that if used correctly as a source of inspiration rather than a replacement for a songwriter, great things can truly happen when AI informs human expression. Raw Data Feel is truly a triumph in my opinion, and it definitely pushes the boundaries of what can be achieved when man and machine collaborate. And now for the big reveal. Are you sure you're ready for it? Here we go. I actually used OpenAI's ChatGPT to help me write the script for this very video. Shocking, isn't it? I'm kind of intrigued though. Did you notice any difference? Was the video lacking authenticity and a human quality in your opinion? Or did you enjoy the video all the same and not notice any difference? Let me know in the comments below. And with that said, I do hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you found it insightful and interesting. Let me know in the comments as well if you enjoyed this style of video and if you want to see more of this kind of content from me. Do hit that like button to show your support. A subscribe to the channel would be hugely appreciated. I am so close now to that 1000 mark, and if you are interested in watching some of my other videos, including why I think most people are wrong about Arctic Monkeys' recent Glastonbury performance, or if that's not your bag and you want to learn how to make music on an iPad instead, then I will leave a few links on screen round about now to a few videos that you might want to watch next. Thank you ever so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you very soon.